July 2nd. That night, I was spinning through a whirlwind of emotions, contemplating how I wanted to end my pain. I remember not being there, like in my head. I remember not having control of what I was doing. Like I just remember the thoughts in my head were not of me, they were not of God, and they were not anything that I want to relive again. I went up to the motorcycle, turned it on, took the pool towel and threw it over my head and started inhaling exhaust in my garage. I had that towel right over my head, and I remember just thinking, I was like, this is it, this is it, this is my life, this is it, this is ending. And I remember hearing a voice in my head saying, this is the right thing to do, this is it, this is what is gonna end your pain. All of a sudden, the door flies open after like 2 minutes of just inhaling exhaust. And my dad comes in and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I remember just snapping out of it, and like, I was so embarrassed and so scared and so sad that I got so mad, and I backlashed at my dad, and I was like, "Nothing, you don't get it, you don't understand this." And I went to bed and woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, that happened last night. What was wrong with me? What's wrong with me? And I kept saying, I was like, I don't get it. Why would I want to end my life?
This whole thing is a journey, and I know it's going to be exhausting, but it's going to be so rewarding. It's going to be so rewarding.
My whole family was there, and they were sitting around the table, and they said, "Blake, sit down." Took everything they said, and I said, "All right, let's do whatever you guys think is best for me, because I don't know what's best for me anymore." Got everything together, and my mom drove me off to Regions, and I remember that drive just being like, I didn't know what to think. I was just in shock. I was traumatized by how dangerous I was to myself. I got checked in. My mom sat with me at the psych ward bed, and she just sat there and kind of comforted me until she finally had to leave. And I told myself, I'm like, whatever I am in here for, I'm ready. I'm ready for it, and I want to come out a different person, and I know that I can, and I want to prove to my family that I am capable of overcoming anything, and I want to prove to myself that I can do that. This is a workout. This thing is a work in progress. Get a little.
This is the label.
And this is Joseph. Joseph's a 76-year-old man from Santa Barbara. We talked about life. He told me life lessons and things and avenues that he went down in his career. He was an old Army medic in Vietnam and had to deal with a lot of the struggles mentally after getting out of that, and ended up as a psychologist dealing with other soldiers with PTSD. He said that was really what pieced him back together, was helping other soldiers who are going through similar things. He told me some restaurants to check out in Santa Barbara. He reminded me a lot of my grandfather, as he was very humble and had a ton of advice and stories.
I'm driving through mountains right now. It's just like mountains on the left, mountains on the right.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
When I finally got checked in, and I just sat there at one of the tables and I looked around, and it's just like this slow motion view of brokenness, and you just wonder, like, and I just kept wondering to myself, how did I get here? What led me here? And how do I get out of here? And how do I do it in a way that's gonna benefit my life? So while I was in there, I prayed a lot. And I've always had God in my life, but I never I never understood that he was the option that I was looking for the entire time. He was always there, waiting patiently and ready to take me in and take me home. And I never understood that until I was in that psych ward. So I'm thankful that I was there. Good. I read When God Becomes Real by Brian Johnson, and it just absolutely shocked me. The things in that book that were written, it felt like it was written directly to me in my current circumstances. They'd check your door every 10 minutes, and I'm sure they saw me reading every time they checked. And I was reading and trying to take as much as I could from that book and then apply it into prayers and into finding God.
I was dead, now I'm alive. I was dead. Now I'm
alive. And then I just prayed to God. I said, God, I am ready to do everything in my power, everything for you. This is the point where I dedicate my life to you. As long as this pain goes away in my chest, and as long as this depression and everything else and this pain just goes away. Just like that. And right when I said that, right when I finished that prayer, everything was gone. Every single thing was gone. All the pain, all the pressure, everything that led up to it erased. It was like such a powerful moment. God came and visited with me in that room, and I know that because I have never felt anything like that in my life. I officially made it from Wisconsin to the ocean. I just couldn't believe that what was happening, and I finally got to experience Jesus.
The pains of death surrounded me, and the pangs of Sheol laid hold of me. I found trouble and sorrow. Then I called upon the name of the Lord. O Lord, I implore you, deliver my soul. Gracious is the Lord and righteous. Yes, our God is merciful. The Lord preserves the simple. I was brought low, and he saved me. Return to your rest, O my soul, for the Lord has dealt bountifully with you. For you have delivered my soul from death, my eyes from tears, and my feet from falling. I will walk before the Lord in the land of the living.
I went into this trip and I prayed about it. And I prayed that I wanted to be a light in people's lives, a light in this world, that whenever I see somebody or meet somebody new, or if ever I'm just in public, I want to be radiating as a light. So the first time in public, this guy came up and started just laughing at me and pointing at me. He's like, look at this guy laughing at me, and the girl that was with was laughing at me, and they're just pointing, and I know the enemy was in their head, like a part of their life, that they were not normal, and that just goes to show that this is bigger than what I thought.
So the reason I wanted to do this trip was because I had a dream about me on a bus, which I never ride buses, so it was a little strange. I was on a bus and I had this idea, and I mentioned it to this girl. I don't know who the girl was. I told her that I wanted to do a trip alone and just follow God wherever he takes me. And she looked at me and said, "It sounds like a really awesome idea. You need to do this trip. You need to do it." And so from that point on, I just committed to it and went after it. I couldn't stop thinking about it, and there was a burning in my heart about it, so.
Potentially homeless, definitely demonic, drug addict, losing his mind, yelling at nothing. And I'm going 35, and there are a bunch of cars going by, and he wasn't looking at any of them. And I held my hand up as I was worshiping and just put it towards him, and he looked right at me. Eye contact, and I just said, "Heal him," and he immediately started losing his mind even more. Probably thought I was taunting him or something, but He knows, the enemy knows, and I love that because he knows I'm doing something good. He's gonna try and do something on this trip. The enemy already is thinking, he's plotting.
So yeah, it is showing as pending. So with pending transactions, we're not able to stop those. And so we will need to dispute it.
Okay.
Get your funds back. So I'll go ahead and bring up the dispute form and we'll start there.
Okay. So I knew something was gonna happen on this trip, and it is my card being hacked. So it got hacked and my info got stolen, and someone spent $2,000 at K Jewelry's, Jewel K, whatever. Now my card's shut down. I got $40 in my pocket, and that's it for right now. So all my reservations were done with the card. All my gas was done with the card. So I'm a little bit nervous, to say the least. I walked by a guy and he said, "Let nature talk."
Oh, just let nature do the talking.
Yeah, exactly. That was all I needed to hear. It's weird how God works. He tells you things you need to listen to. And couldn't even buy firewood. Went around asking for change, and nobody had any. But a guy brought over some extra firewood, and I prayed about it, and all of a sudden, guy drops off some wood. Unbelievable. Because my card was hacked, so I had to stay in Bend. So what did I do in Bend? I did some laundry. I met Benjamin in Bend, and just out of the blue, God's been placing these people on my journey, on my trip, like in random spots, and like when I'm alone, they just all of a sudden show up.
There were just some things about my past, about my family, my parents, that the Lord had revealed to me that were actually pretty heavy. And I didn't know how to deal with them properly at that time still yet in my walk with the Lord. I got angry, and just like I had always had in my life before I gave my life to the Lord. And so I went to a pot store immediately, bought some pot, and took off to Eugene, grabbed my guitar and my Bible, and wound up at this park. And I don't remember how I got there, man. When we found ourselves just at our worst, He will use anything that He wants to. In that moment, I'm sitting there at this park, and I look up at the street sign and I see my name, Benjamin. And he said, "You are an evergreen tree." And how he said that was on the corner of Benjamin Street was Evergreen Avenue. So it said Benjamin Street and Evergreen Avenue, and I read Evergreen. I see my name, Benjamin, Evergreen, and he goes, "You are an evergreen tree." And I just, what is happening? It could be winter, it could be fall, spring, or summer. That tree will ever be green. And it's because you are in me and I am in you. I am that evergreen tree. It's like when a diver uses weights on his belt to sink down to the depths of the sea. Well, you're running out of air. I was in that place where I got all this weight on my belt and I'm running out of air, and I see the light and I want to go back, but I don't know how to undo the weight. And God goes and clips them off of me. It's what happened when Bill just clean slate, and I came unglued, and I felt so like, Father, you know everything I just did. How could you just say, "I love you"? And He put a ring on my finger, He put a robe around me, threw a party, and killed the fatted calf, man. He said, "You're my son, you're evergreen tree. I want people to know the love of Christ. I want, like you and I were just talking about, man, who wouldn't want to have peace that surpasses all understanding? Who wouldn't want to have joy that is our strength? Who wouldn't want to have the love of the world in our lives, man?" And God is love. He's not religious. He's not religion. He's Jesus Christ. And we can do this, man. And that's my heart with the music, is to unify the body of Christ, that we could be a cohesive unit under the banner of love.
So now I got a card. Now it's time to hit the road. God, give me the strength and the courage to walk through this cave alone. This is definitely way out of my comfort zone. Ultimately, it was God, but my dad was the one who found me there on his birthday. And I still, to this day, am just I'm just so blessed to be, I'm so thankful that he was there and that he saved my life. And I still can't even tell you how much that means to me, because I had no idea how beautiful life could be the moment I found God in my life.
And you're angry, and things like your human emotions take over your spiritual ones. You're easily able to fall back into a way and drag this old person around with you. As my brother said, he said it's easy to have you chained to your past and drag around this old body that you shouldn't have, and it'd be much easier if you just broke that chain and just went your separate ways with him. There will come a time when you can't avoid the stress of life or numb the pain anymore. And when your coping mechanisms don't work anymore, consider it a gift. Consider it a gift when God becomes your only option. And I'm just sitting there, and this fisherman walks up. Catch anything? How was the fish? How was the fishing? And he goes, oh, I didn't catch anything, man. It's hard to fish these rocks. And we small talked for a little bit. And he starts telling me a little bit about his life and how he's adventured so much and gone so many places. And he gave me some advice. And I asked him, I was like, okay, what would you tell your 25-year-old self? And he told me, keep going. Keep going. Afterwards, he just goes, hey, God bless you, man. God bless your trip. And immediately took that and sprung on him. And I said, no, God bless you for coming up to me and having a conversation with me. So, and then I said, I came all the way out here on a trip following God. And as I was saying this, I watched and a tear ran down his face. And it was super emotional. And I go, God's got our backs. He's in the sound of the waves, and he's like, he's everywhere. He kept saying, he's like, he's everywhere. You look around, God is everywhere. And I gave him a huge hug, and he's like, you be safe on the rest of your journey, and may God follow you the whole way. Thank you for this video, God, because there's somebody that's gonna watch it, and God, you're gonna go and wrangle him up, bring him in your arms, give him a hug, and let him know that he's home. When you are hurting, I'm there. When you have problems, I can solve them. Because I have the answers. That's God. And he put me onto this burger spot, and now we're here.
And get the ocean out there.
Woo! Take me around Santa Barbara.
have that. But right now, I mean, we went far and wide and in places that I never thought I'd be, and just, oh my gosh. Woo! That's all I gotta say. And yeah, I can't wait to be home. God, thank you for always being there for me. Thank you for being the light in my darkness and the lighthouse that guides me ashore.
I've been lost on the trail where the west found gold, tossed and turned in the waves down a dead-end road. Lost my mind on purpose to find my soul. Found there's only so much you wanna see alone, and I can picture your silhouette in the summer of no regrets. It felt like 1,000 breaths, 1,000 steps. I knew right then and there that I'd go anywhere with you. I'd go anywhere with you. I know you feel the same thing that I do, 'cause I'd go anywhere, anywhere with you. Anywhere, anywhere, anywhere with you. Anywhere, anywhere. I've slept under the pines and they sang your name. Stared at the stars in the night and I saw your face. And I can picture your silhouette swaying in the sunset. It feels like 1,000 breaths, 1,000 steps. I know right here and now that I'd go anywhere with you. I'd go anywhere with you. I know you'll feel the same thing that I do, 'cause I'd go anywhere, anywhere with you. We were humming out the window, blowing where the wind blows, puffing cigars and the stars appeared to rooftop till the cops came, and I know that I was changed. Playing jokes on the people below, and I know that we'd never be the same. No, we'd never be the same, 'cause I'd go anywhere with you. I'd go anywhere with you. I know you feel the same thing that I do, 'cause I'd go anywhere.